about the top 5 places to meet ultra high net worth individuals in St. Barts for the month of January. And stay till the end because I'll be sharing 2 very exclusive destinations that no one really talks about. So before I start, I just want to share this insight that I came across a post the other day, and the caption actually said to put her high-ticket sales clients on a pedestal. And I think that that is so wrong, and it really baffles me that someone would actually write a caption like that. Maybe her clients are a completely different breed on another planet, but I really want to highlight that you never ever put any ultra high net worth individual on a pedestal, or anyone for that matter. If you actually do that, what you are actually doing is like, so you're here and you actually put them here. So what you are actually doing is that you're actually devaluing yourself in their eyes. And you don't want to do that. What you want to do is that you want to relate to them on the same level, and you want to build rapport with them on par. So the reason why that's a common mistake that most people make by putting high net worth or ultra high net worth clients on a pedestal is because they have their self-worth tied to their net worth. So I'm going to say it again. They make that mistake of putting an ultra high net worth individual on a pedestal because their self-worth is tied to their net worth. So when they see someone with a higher net worth than them, they think that they are of a lower self-worth than them. So how do you actually make up for this discrepancy? So what you actually want to do is, the only way you could make up for this discrepancy here is through confidence. And that confidence comes from having this proof of concept or having this track record that you're able to offer value to them that no one else can. And this is often really underestimated because you might think that something is of low value to you, but actually it could be of really high value to them. So a few examples of how you could actually make up for this discrepancy through confidence is, for example, having connections that they value that perhaps you have and they don't have. Maybe being exposed to a certain culture, not necessarily your culture where you're from, but maybe having an understanding of different cultures that they may not have the exposure to. That could be of high value to them. Perhaps having experiences, travel experiences, adventurous experiences, things like that, that they really value. And that is how you make up for that discrepancy if you think that your self-worth is tied to your net worth. And again, I want to say this, you really want to operate and you really want to relate on par with them because end of the day, they're humans too. And they eat, they sleep, and they breathe just like any other human. And human value is the same. While men and women are different biologically, while net worth differs in the bank accounts, but end of the day, human value is the same. So that's how you actually have the confidence to approach them or speak to them on the same level. Okay, so let's get started. I'm actually really excited for this because I have prepared my notes for a while now. And I have 5 really good places here to meet ultra high net worth individuals on St. Barts. Now, I want to highlight though, St. Barts is really a place where all the ultra high net worth individuals come in during January. But for the rest of the months, it is completely dead. So just something to look out for, and don't say that I didn't tell you. So only in January, and the other 11 months, it's not really a place to network there. So, okay, so the first place that I have, so let me just give an overview about St. Barts. It's a temporary capital of global wealth. So where people with planes, yachts, dynasties, and private calendars converge at the same time. And the key thing here to understand about St. Barts is access is not about exclusivity. It's about timing, energy, and social intelligence. And now I'm going to break down where ultra high net worth individuals actually gather, the social landscape, who goes and how it shifts after 1st of January. So pretty much in the month of January, and the etiquette and cues that decide whether you're welcomed or quietly ignored. And so this is actually social fluency in a very high density wealth environment. So 2 things that define Barts socially. First, most people, everyone is already someone. And secondly, nobody wants to talk about it. This island runs on repeat visitors, introductions through proximity, and an unspoken agreement, don't be difficult. New Year's is definitely on high intensity, and January is where real connections happen. So the first place is Nikki Beach in St. Barts, especially during New Year's week, where the energy is really intense. There's a lot of visible wealth here, a lot of celebration energy, yachts docking, you can imagine champagne flowing and large social groups merging. So who is here? Global entrepreneurs, finance and trading wealth, entertainment adjacent ultra high net worth individuals, and younger new money circles. So the social cue here is you want to be warm, light, and non-invasive. Conversations are short because your energy matters more than depth. And after January, Nikki Beach becomes far less relevant socially. The second place is Eden Rock, EDEN, Rock, Bar Remy and Beach Club. So Eden Rock is one of the most important social anchors on the island. The beach, the bar, and casual daytime moments create repeat proximity, which is how St. Barts work. So who you'll see here are old money families, media, fashion, and legacy wealth, guests who return every year in the same weeks. And the social cue here is you want to be polite. It's all about familiarity, where people have to see you like more than once there, and they probably would break the ice with you if they see you a few times there, as well as legacy wealth. And guests who return every year, the same weeks, they probably already know each other there. So once you know just one person who's 2 things. Number 1, very well connected there, and secondly, very generous with their connections. All you have to do is to find that one person with that 2 qualities, and that will open you the doors to the network there. The social cue here is politeness, familiarity, and restraint. So this isn't really a big personality venue, unlike the first one at Nikki Beach. And the third place is Shalona. Shalona is Shellona, and is one of the strongest daytime social venues on the island. It attracts Mediterranean and European ultra high net worth, entrepreneurs and family offices, and people who enjoy long lunches that turn into plans. And here's the social cue. Lunch is where St. Barts open socially. So you want to be present. You know, it's very European. It's very European culture here. You want to have the lunch stretch into a really long afternoon where conversations are never rushed and they are very relaxed. Number 4 is Lisola, Lisola in the evenings. So Lisola is not flashy, and that's the point. This is a relationship restaurant. People dine here because they already trust the room. And who you'll see here are Italian industrial families, European legacy wealth, and people who value continuity over spectacle. So remember I told you the first place is Nikki Beach. So that is the complete opposite here. So here are people who value continuity over spectacle. And here you want to have quiet confidence And if a conversation starts, you want to let it unfold naturally and you don't ever want to interrupt them. So number 5 is bonito in St. Barts. And this is usually in the time from sunset to dinner to supper. And bonito is actually one of the best crossover venues on the island. It blends the yacht crowd, fashion and creative elites, and ultra high net worth visitors who enjoy atmosphere without chaos. So the social cue here is that sunset is prime time, and short exchanges, soft humor, and situational comments work best. Okay, so in the month of January, you also have some of the most meaningful interactions in St. Barts that never happen on land. And this could actually be on yacht parties, tenders, and informal dockside moments. And it's usually at this place called the Gustavia Harbor. So if you're not invited, you don't force access and you don't force proximity, because St. Barts punishes entitlement faster than almost anywhere else. Okay, so now that I've gone through the 5 places, I'm going to talk about the social landscape. So St. Barts is mixed wealth but segmented by energy. And who goes during New Year's? You have new money, ultra high net worth, global entrepreneurs, entertainment and finance circles, and high spending celebratory groups. And this period is loud, dense, and short term. So, short term. And who stays throughout January? You have old money families, ultra private, ultra high net worth, Europeans on extended winter stays, and people who value routine and familiarity. So people who actually come in here every year. This is where conversations lengthen, repeated encounters matter, and social guards lower. And the key distinction here is that January rewards consistency. So old money is quieter, more private, and less impressed. So status is not shown through spending alone. It's shown through ease, familiarity with the island rhythm, and respect for space. And in St. Barts, the highest status signal is not needing to be seen. So here are some etiquette that I suggest, which is St. Barts social code. Don't ask personal questions early. I've spoken about this question before in my previous live. Avoid what do you do? So, I'm not going to explain it again. So just go watch my previous live. I think it's on, it's either the one on private jets or the one after private jets. And then the next question not to ask is how long are you here? Because that will put your guard up. And the third question is that your yacht? I think that asking someone like whether something belongs to them is really rude, because it shows like you're trying to calculate what they have. So even like, is that your yacht? Is that your house? Is that your car? I think that these are really rude questions. So don't ever ask these questions unless they volunteer the information by themselves. So let information surface naturally. And the second thing here is use situational openers only. So situational openers are really great because, it really takes the pressure off someone to start or to either initiate or to continue the conversation that you initiated. So some good examples are, this beach is especially calm today. Lunch here always turns into an afternoon, and January feels like a different island. And then you pause and you see what they have to say. And third, the exit matters more than the entrance. So if a conversation doesn't flow, you smile and you wish them a good afternoon and you leave cleanly. So this is always remembered positively, because then they know that you actually respect their time, and the next time you bump into them, then they are more likely to give you their time to speak with you. And the fourth is dress for the island, not for social media. So St. Bart's style signals ease, quality, and practical elegance. So you can actually think of it like a very chic but effortless and not try too hard kind of beach wear, because trying too hard reads instantly. And number 5, staff etiquette is everything. So the staff here are long-term and deeply connected. If you're kind, patient, and respectful, doors open quietly. And if you're dismissive, then you're remembered for that and you will be socially invisible. And number 6, never pitch, never sell, and never force continuation. If the interaction works, a natural line is, I'll be around later, enjoy the rest of your day. And that's it. So it's about being easy to be around in a place where everyone already has everything. And if you respect that, then people will open up to you naturally. So now that I've spoken about St. Bart's, I actually said that I will share 2 very exclusive and somewhat secluded places that no one really talks about that ultra high net worth individuals go in January. And the reason why no one really wants to talk about this is because they want to keep it private. So my point here of sharing these 2 places is so that you know that people who come to these 2 places in January, it's kind of like a filter, right? Like I actually said about the billionaire social calendar or the ultra high net worth social calendar to be at the right place at the right time so that you maximize your ROI on your time. And by knowing who is at these places at a particular time actually puts them in a category so that you're aware that, okay, so they actually belong to this group of people. Okay, so the first place is Mustique. So Mustique, like MUSTIQUE, who's usually there? Yeah, ultra old money, royalty, and multi-generation families. So in January is maximum privacy and post-New Year decompression. So the social reality here is that there's no networking culture because they just want to get away from everyone and they just want to be by themselves. And introductions here are either inherited or they're deliberately hosted. So you could be invited if you actually met them outside of this Mustique and maybe you met them in another city and they invited you there. And if you're here, then you're actually already vetted. So the status signal here is that you want to show discretion and you want to show that you're just as private as them and you respect their privacy and that they didn't make the wrong decision to invite you there. And the second place is Turks and Caicos. Turks and Caicos. So Parrot K. So who's there? Those are usually like your finance, ultra high net worth, wellness-oriented wealth, and families. And January here is really like a quiet reset where they nourish and they rejuvenate in privacy. And the social reality here is conversations are slow and they're soft and they're optional. There's no party culture, and it's all about having that very simple routine here, simplicity and routine. Also, I just want to drop one more, like the third is in January, like just if you want to filter people who go to these places in January, it's Bahamas. So who actually goes to Bahamas are US owned money, hedge fund families, and legacy wealth. And why January is because it's close to the States and it's also deeply private during January. So your social reality here is community-based and it's not really a place for social climbing here in January. and there's very low tolerance for outsiders. So the status signal here is being known but not being visible. And I've reached the end of this topic. So I know that I actually said that I want to do the whiskey. This live is now running over 20 minutes, so I'm gonna split that whiskey into another live, because I think that if I do 2 topics in one live, it would be way too long. So that's the end for today, for this live on St. Barts and 3 other destinations that are really private, where ultra high net worth individuals go to in the month of January. And I will see you in the next live.